Welcome to the channel and welcome to today's run through of all the latest Manchester United news and transfer updates, keeping you right up to date with everything. I'm Jamie. Before we get into it, smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and let's jump straight into it. So let's kick off with Benjamin Sesko. Obviously, we had the day yesterday with Newcastle making a second official bid for the player. Then we had Man United making their first official bid for the player as well. But it was touch and go as to who he's going to decide to go to. Been loads of noise over the last day, but now it's been confirmed by the Oracle himself that he has chosen to come to Manchester United. Let's run through all the latest there. So Manchester United are closing in on a deal to sign Benjamin Sesko from RB Leipzig. RB Leipzig have accepted an 82.5 million plus 2.5 million euro offer from Newcastle. That's interesting because the reports were yesterday it was 90 million euros. Actually turns out that Newcastle's bid was 85 million. Ours was ironically 85 million, just with different upfront costs and different add-ons. Ours was 75 plus 10. By according to David Ornstein, theirs was 82.5 plus 2.5. But total, they both had the same total amount of 85 million euros. There is no agreement yet between United and Leipzig. Negotiations are progressing well, and he said the 22-year striker has set his sights on a move to Old Trafford. Now, in the report itself, David Ornstein said that Newcastle have continued working to secure the transfer, and on Tuesday, a bid of 82.5 plus 2.5 million euros was accepted by Leipzig. But Sesko wants to join Manchester United, and all parties are now aware of that as talks advance in an effort to satisfy Leipzig's expectations. While there is still is no club-to-club agreement yet, the situation is moving in that direction. So that came from the Oracle, David Ornstein himself, confirming that even though RB Leipzig had accepted Newcastle's offer, Benjamin Sesko has chosen, said he wants to come to Manchester United and has chosen to come to United, and that's all we've been waiting for regarding this transfer. It's been the player himself that will dictate this move, and he's accepted United's offer and will be coming to United. We're just ironing out the details of the transfer fee, the upfront cost, the add-ons, and all of that stuff. Alex Crook said that Benjamin Sesko made it clear last night that he only wants to join Manchester United. Manchester United is now focusing on reaching an agreement with Leipzig as the club believes Sesko is waiting for them. Sky Sports said that Newcastle tried everything to sign Sesko, but he clearly has his sights set on Manchester United. And I like this approach from Ineos and in the terms of the transfer strategy is getting the players that want to come to United, and that's the reason why we delayed and didn't make the offer, didn't make the bid, because we wanted the player to say that he wanted to come to us, and then we would bid, and that takes Newcastle out of the equation because we can't outcompete Newcastle financially. We just can't. They've got more money. They're on the verge of selling, or potentially anyway, or were getting some money in for Alexander Isak. Whether he's still going to get sold now, who knows? But we wanted the player buy-in. Player has chosen to come to us. I think there was a bit of a standoff between Sesko only wanted to come once we'd made an official bid, and that seems to be the case because he was obviously worried of whether we could afford the deal and stuff, and we'll go through bits on the budget in a second. But he's chosen us. We're just working on the rest of the deal as well. And then Florian Plettenberg said that Manchester United have improved their offer and are currently proposing around 80 million euro as a fixed fee plus add-ons. Our previous bid was 75 plus 10. However, there is still no agreement with RB Leipzig. Marcel Schaefer has not accepted the current offer as of this morning, so at 10 to 10 this morning, German time, and further improvements are demanded. Benjamin Sesko is waiting for an agreement between the clubs and is keen to join Manchester United. Fabrizio Romano has said that Benjamin Sesko has agreed personal terms with Manchester United with a contract until June 2030. Sesko prefers United, as revealed yesterday. No similar interest shown to other clubs. Club-to-club talks with RB Leipzig ongoing. So Fabrizio Romano again confirming that we have agreed personal terms as well with Benjamin Sesko. We're just working out the cost and the structure of the deal and the add-ons and all of that for Jazzo now with RB Leipzig, which hopefully we can get some movement on or get a bit of a shift on with as well. I do think Newcastle bidding for the player has meant that we've had to overpay because we've got to at least match what they've offered. So I do think it's probably a little bit more than we were wanting to pay, but ultimately we didn't want to lose the player, and that's the game. That's the transfer market for you. Sometimes you just have to end up paying what the going rate is for the player at the time. And if Newcastle bid 85 million, we've got no alternative but to bid at least that amount in order to get the player. Fabrizio Romano, though, so the latest is that Manchester United are changing the structure of their bid for Benjamin Sesko. Jason Wilcox now taking care of the structure of the deal. Vivel was working on the Sesko deal because he knows Red Bull Group very well, but also Wilcox will be crucial once again in these conversations plus negotiations, and now taking care of the structure of the deal. So we're just working out, maybe we'll have to pay a little bit more up front and less in add-ons and sell-ons and all of that fizzazzle, but that's the state of play where we are at the moment regarding Benjamin Sesko. Give us your thoughts and feelings on all of that, though, in the comments. Now, interestingly, Statman Dave had the following to say regarding the player, which is one of the reasons why I think we have gone for him. So last season, across Europe's top 5 leagues, only one striker managed to score double digits, win most of his aerial duels, and successfully complete the majority of his take-ons. That player, Benjamin Sesko, and they're the traits I think that Ruben Amorim wants. Someone that can win duels and that can take players on as well. He's won most of his aerial duels. I'm not surprised. He is 6'5", managed to score double-digit goals at 22 years old, and win a majority and complete a majority of his take-ons as well. That's exactly, I think, the profile of player that we are looking for up front. There's still red flags. I still have massive concerns regarding this deal with his age, the price we're paying, his Premier League proven as well, but he does have the attributes, I think, to be a success in the Premier League. He's got an absolute rocket of a shot. Like I said, he's 6'5" and lightning fast as well. And those 3 traits, I think, will stand you in good stead anyway for the Premier League. We'll have to wait and see, though, how it plays out. I do think it's a risky transfer. It's a lot of money. But it is what it is. That's what we've gone down. We've picked him. And let's not forget, this is a player we've wanted since he was 16 years old as well. So this isn't like a panic buy or anything. We have wanted Benjamin Sesko for a number of years. This is the 3rd time we've tried to buy him. We tried to sign him when he was 16. We tried to sign him when he went from RB Salzburg to RB Leipzig, and now we've eventually got our man. So there is something in that. I think it isn't just a random name plucked out of a hat. This is somebody that we have wanted for a very, very long time. I've been watching for a very, very long time as well, and extensively scouted and stuff. And I'd like to hope there is something in that, but it does come with great risk, though. I still have reservations around the signing, but he does tick a lot of the boxes as well. But give us your thoughts and feelings on that in the comments below. Sully Talks has said that Manchester United and RB Leipzig in advanced negotiations to reach agreement on fee, structure and add-ons being discussed. Benjamin Sesko is awaiting the green light to fly to Manchester to complete medical and sign official contract. Newcastle United out of the race. So, is that the 3rd transfer that we've taken from that we've beaten Newcastle to? Because I think they were interested in Cunha, they were interested in Mbumo, they were definitely interested in Benjamin Sesko, and we've managed to beat them to all 3 without Champions League football, which just shows the pull of Manchester United. But I like the fact that what Ineos are doing with the transfers, the fact we are getting the players to buy in and getting players that want to come to us. I think there is value in that. I think there is something in that as well. I think we've overpaid for him, though. But again, in the transfer market, when you've got teams competing for the same player, you might have to outbid that team, or at least match what they've offered as well. Because had it just been us going for him, I think we could have maybe negotiated the price down. But as soon as Newcastle start making official bids for the prices that they do, I think it's inflated his price a little bit. But it is what it is. But yeah, give us your thoughts and feelings on that in the comments below. Ben Jacobs, the latest update is that Manchester United optimistic they will reach an agreement in principle for Benjamin Sesko. The £74 million package offer, including add-ons, meets RB Leipzig's ballpark valuation, but the structure of the deal is being negotiated. 4.3 million of the add-ons are easily achievable. So according to Ben Jacobs, it could be a total of £74 million package, including the add-ons. I think he said that the add-ons will be easily achievable as well. So effectively, it's £74 million, which is a massive amount of money for, a 22-year-old, un-Premier League proven player. I have reservations, and there is a big red flag regarding that, but he does have quality and he does have attributes that I think will improve the team. I mean, like you said, he's 6'5", wins headers, skillful as well, and has a bullet shot. It's just, he's not the finished article though. He is still a diamond in the rough, but I think that the club have maybe taken the gamble because the fact that we have got Mbeumo and Cunha behind him as well. So we've got Premier League experience behind Benjamin Sesko, and they clearly see him as the right fit for Amram, or for the club going forward as well. So, we'll just have to wait and see how it gets on. Hopefully we can get some movement and get this deal done. I don't know whether we'll get it done before the end of the week, but hopefully we'll definitely get it done before the start of the season as well. But give us your thoughts and feelings on Benjamin Sesko. Smash a like on the video if you're excited to see him at Old Trafford next season, playing in front of Mbeumo and Cunha. I think that's a massive upgrade on the attack. Like, to go from Garnacho, Anthony, I know Sancho wasn't here, but Sancho and Rasmus Hojlund up front, to Sesko, Mbeumo and Cunha as your front three. I think that's a massive, massive upgrade on the attack, in my opinion. We just need to see how it works. And obviously the proof will be in the pudding when we get them on the pitch and we can start seeing the results of that as well. But I do think, the priority going into this transfer window is improving the attack. The lack of goals at United, not just last season, but for, 3 or 4 years, we've been absolutely terrible at scoring goals. We can create chances sometimes, but even that's very limited at points in time. We've lacked goals in this team for years. And I think the club have done just about all they can in going out and getting 2 Premier League proven players that have scored goals in the Premier League, but then also going and getting one of the best young strikers in the world that has potential to go on to be a good goal scorer. Even if he doesn't, we'll supplement the other 2 as well, because he might not ever be a 30-goal-a-season striker, Benjamin Sesko, but, he's got qualities, and hopefully if he can just hold up the ball and lay it off to others, that would be a massive improvement in our attack as well, because at the minute the ball's going to Hojlund and he's falling on the floor and wrestling with defenders, and then it's just going straight back. We're giving the ball away. So even if Sesko can do that, it would be a massive improvement for the team, in my opinion. But give us your thoughts and feelings on that in the comments below. Now, some of you might be asking, how on earth are we managing to pull this off? We're being told we're skint and we've got no money and we have to sell to buy. How are we then going and paying £74 million for Benjamin Sesko? Well, James Ducker in the Telegraph said that this is how United were able to fund the Sesko deal. So United's £12.75 million wage savings on Rashford, with obviously his loan to Barcelona, staggered payment structures on Mbeumo and Cunha, £21 million in sell-on fees, Chelsea's penalty on Sancho, and the job losses and the majority of the cuts as well. The Athletic, though, were saying and suggesting that Cunha's deal actually went on last year's finances. So the Cunha deal was actually last summer's or last football financial year's figures. And don't forget the loans that we sanctioned in January as well, the amount of money that we saved on wages there, plus obviously the job losses and stuff, which nobody wants to see, but have been, crucial in order for us to, one because we've lost all the staff and we're still functioning as a club, which says that we did have an inflated workforce in the first place. But then also, those cutbacks have allowed us to spend money in the transfer window, whether you like it or not. It's, it's a means to an end. I still don't like it. I don't want anyone to lose their jobs. But again, if we have had an overinflated workforce, then they're the sort of decisions you have to make sometimes in business, and that's the way the cookies crumbled. I don't agree with it. I don't like it. But it is what it is. It's done now anyway, so none of us can change it. We can moan about it, but it's done. So it's and it's helped us fund transfer windows. Give us your thoughts and feelings on that in the comments. Now, obviously, getting Sesko in, where does that leave old Rasmus Hojlund? So David Ornstein said that Sesko's arrival would also bring Hojlund's future into focus, with Old Trafford hierarchy ready to consider offers of £30 million only 2 years after he joined for more than twice that figure. Certainly in terms of outgoings, Manchester United's business is far from done, and whether that paves the way for further incomings remains to be seen. So David Ornstein saying that obviously with us getting Sesko, that does throw Hojlund's future into doubt, which he's correct with. We could be consider offers of £30 million, which would actually be less than his book value as well. We've heard that from Laurie Whitwell and people like that before in the past. So we'll have to keep an eye on what happens now, potentially with Rasmus Hojlund. But then also, if we've got the money to do this without exits, if we do end up selling Garnacho, Anthony, Sancho, Malacia, Rasmus Hojlund, that will then hopefully give us some money to go out and strengthen in other areas, which I do think we need. I think now we've fixed the attack, Sesko and Mbeumo Cunha, priority number one, goals. We needed goals in this team, and I think that hopefully those three can add that. For me, midfield, goalkeeper would be the next two. And David Ornstein said that already, that striker, midfield, goalkeeper are the three key areas that we are still looking to strengthen. So maybe the rest of the exits will give us the funds in order to strengthen in those areas. Keeping with Rasmus Hojlund, though, Fabrizio Romano said if Sesko goes to Manchester United at that point, Rasmus Hojlund could leave Manchester United. Don't forget the interest from Italy, especially from AC Milan, who are looking for a striker. At the moment, financially, it's still considered too expensive. Man United and Leipzig discussed the possibility to include Hojlund in the deal for Benjamin Sesko last week, but this is not possible. Hojlund is not keen on the move, so that option collapsed immediately. So Romano confirming that there was talk of maybe doing a player exchange with Hojlund for Sesko and some cash. Hojlund doesn't want to go to RB Leipzig. I think if he does leave, he'd probably want to go back to Italy because he's well thought of and highly regarded in Italy as well. So AC Milan could be one to keep an eye on, although Romano, going back to the original slide, was saying that the price might be out of there. So maybe a loan, obligation to buy, something like that for Hojlund and AC Milan. Who knows? Let's wait and see what happens there. Now... Damarcio has said that Rasmus Hojlund is still on AC Milan's wish list, especially if Manchester United decide to open up to a loan deal with an option to buy. So that could be a way potentially that could help us out, or something to do with Hojlund, although that doesn't necessarily help us financially. We need the cash in, so I do think they would be looking more for a permanent sale, but it's another potential option. Damarcio, though, has gone, he was the one saying that Sancho was close to joining Juventus that never materialised, so I would say take that with a pinch of salt for now. Another Italian outlet, though, has said that, or journalist has said that AC Milan are pursuing a loan deal with an option to buy for Manchester United's Rasmus Hojlund, while also considering Juventus's departing striker Dusan Vlahovic as an alternative. So there are links with Milan and Rasmus Hojlund, albeit with a loan, with an option. I'd like to do an obligation to buy if you're going to go down that route as well. But again, I don't know how that helps us financially when we need to get some cash in. But maybe it does help us for next summer as well, because if we are having a big summer this summer, which we are, maybe we do start needing to think ahead for next transfer window as well. And next summer, how we get some money in and start lining up some deals for that. Possibly that wouldn't be a bad way to look at it neither as well. James Ducker said that Benjamin Sesko is keen on joining Manchester United with advanced talks ongoing with Leipzig. United are open to offers for Rasmus Hojlund, who prefers to stay and fight for his spot, but would need £38.4 million to avoid a loss. So that's his book value, just under £40 million. But as we've heard before, we might be willing to take a bit of a loss on Rasmus Hojlund just to get the money in so we can use that in other areas potentially. And Samuel Lucker said that Rasmus Hojlund accepts he may be pushed out by Manchester United if Sesko's transfer is finalised. While being unwanted could motivate him, he may need to find a new club before the transfer window closes. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Rasmus Hojlund now that we've got Sesko in. Remember, we've got limited game time this season. There is an argument to say, though, do we not need two strikers still? But then can Xerxes play up front? Chidowobi we've got there. Cunha and Mbeumo can all play up front as well. So I do think we have options up front as well. So we'll have to wait and see how it all plays out. But yeah, big question marks now about Rasmus Hojlund. Give us your thoughts on that, though, in the comments. Let me know what you would do with Hojlund. Would you keep him as a backup and have a rotation with Sesko? Sell him, loan? Give us your ideas. Give us your shouts on that in the comments below. Now, one of the other areas we could be looking to strengthen is the midfield. David Ornstein did say potentially midfielder. Romano's done a piece as well, saying that maybe if the funds are available, we could look for a midfielder for the rest of the transfer window. Again, it's limited in terms of names and links, but one player that keeps popping up is Sara. So according to Turkish outlet, United have made a formal offer for Gabriel Sara in the coming... will make a formal offer for Gabriel Sara in the coming days. The report claims that Galatasaray don't want to sell the 26-year-old midfielder, but they'll happily they'll be happy to open negotiations if they receive a bid worth at least 40 million euros, so 34 million pounds. It said that Manchester City, Leeds United, Wolves, Everton, Nottingham Forest and Aston Villa are also keen on signing Sara, whose contract in Istanbul expires in June 2029. The Brazilian featured 45 times across all competitions last season, scoring 2 goals and providing 10 assists. So that would be an interesting option. The main links, though, because it's not the first time we've been linked with Sara, I think we've been linked with him multiple times this transfer window, as with many players. A lot of the links, though, are not coming from the most credible places or coming from, like, Turkish media and outlets as well. I'd want to see a bit more credibility before making an opinion on Sara. He is a good player, though, does tick the boxes, I think, for what we would need. A good all-round midfielder. I've shared his stats here before. Good in terms of his attacking outputs, good in terms of his progressive passes, progressive carries, take-ons in the midfield as well, and good defensively. So he is a very good all-round midfielder. Looking at the data, I've watched his highlights and stuff. He's not a player that I've watched a ton of, but does tick a lot of the boxes statistically for United and what we would be looking for in the midfield. So could be one potentially to keep an eye on as the transfer window develops. Not exactly bank breaking neither, £34 million. We'll wait and see how that plays out. But give us your thoughts and feelings on that in the comments below, as I am sure that you will. And let's go for the only other exit news is Garnacho still being linked with Chelsea. The reports are that, talks have started, just the same as what I mentioned yesterday's video, where initial talks have started with Chelsea and talking about obviously salaries and wages and stuff. We'll hopefully see a bit more movement on that maybe over the next few days and stuff as well. But one player that actually won't be leaving United anytime soon, apparently, is one Harry Maguire. So Manchester United have rebuffed approaches from clubs in the Premier League and Italy for Harry Maguire. A number of interested parties at home and abroad have been told the likelihood is that the England defender is likely to extend his contract and spend the rest of his career at Old Trafford. Whether that happens remains to be seen. However, 3 top-flight sides and 2 from Italy explored a move for Maguire this summer and were turned away. So that came from Mike Keegan, who's a good source for United News as well, suggesting that we've had some inquiries, maybe some offers for Harry Maguire, but they've been rejected, but then also suggesting that Harry Maguire is set to get a new contract. But remember, he's had the +1 on his contract done, so he is currently in the last year of his contract. So we'll wait and see what happens there. I think he's clearly, a player that's liked around the place. Obviously, former captain, is in Ruben Amorim's leadership group as well. I like the fact that he's come back and revived his United career as well after being written off and, criticised and everything like that as well. I actually think he's a good player, and I have no issues with people like that staying around. Good off the pitch, good leader behind the scenes, top professional. You never hear anything bad about Harry Maguire in terms of like his attitude or anything of that nature as well. A top professional to be around. Is homegrown as well. We've drained every penny of the £80 million we paid for him out as well. But yeah, I have no issues with that personally, but give us your thoughts and feelings on that in the comments below. And then we could also get some money from Mason Greenwood. So Al Nassr made recent inquiry on Marseille striker Mason Greenwood. Marseille don't want to sell, and now unclear if Al Nassr will persist on whether Greenwood is open to Saudi. Any sale now or future windows hands Manchester United a 50% sell-on clause. So Ben Jacobs is suggesting that Al Nassr might be making an inquiry or looking at getting Mason Greenwood. There was talks around 90 million euros as well, and we've got a 50% sell-on clause of the profit that Marseille make from any sales. The reports were saying, though, that Marseille don't want to sell, and he's happy to stay in France for the time being. So I don't know how realistic that would be, but we'll keep an eye on it. Could be another way that we could get some windfall or a little bit of extra money towards the end of the transfer window that we could put into a midfielder or a goalkeeper or anything else after obviously signing the players that we have already this window, including hopefully soon Benjamin Sesko. I think we're just waiting now for the official, here we go from Fabrizio Romano regarding that deal, which could come at any time by the sounds of things. But give us your thoughts and feelings on that in the comments. Give us your thoughts on all the other topics discussed in today's video. That's you all up to date with the latest news and transfer updates. Smash a a like on the video on your way out. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. See you in the next one.